to me and they're just like, oh, we want to send you product, just try it out, like no pressure, that's when it's the best. Because if I like it, then I'll talk about it naturally, and then the fans will trust me.
Yeah, I think it's especially a few years ago, brands were so confused by what we did, and it was hard to have to. I remember when I had like different management, and I would just be like, give me the phone, let me talk to them. And because I'd be like, what they don't understand is we have created this for ourselves. So clearly, although we may be young, like we know what we're doing, and we know what our audience wants. And if you're a brand who can't trust that, you learn the hard way, because then I remember one time having to make this awesome video, and the brand wanted me to take out everything that wasn't about the brand and just make a 1 minute, and I was like, I didn't sign up to make a commercial for you. People aren't gonna wanna see that. And so obviously I almost posted it to be like, here, let me show you what happens when you wanna do this. And no one even focuses on the video. No one focuses on the product. Everyone just focuses on commenting like, this is a commercial, this is a product placement, because people on the internet are very smart. So it's kind of the progression of influencers learning to work with brands, and brands learning to work with influencers, and finding that happy medium of what's organic, because we get so many people reaching out to us being like, do you want this, do you want that? And for us, we know what our audience wants and we know what we want, so it's really us kind of picking and choosing what makes sense. Like, I would never say yes to something that's not organic and that doesn't align with my brand, and that makes it much easier because it's not as hard, it's not as forced, and it's just a lot more kind of, it's not like you're sneaking anything by your audience, it's just they understand.
I also kind of get annoyed when people are like, they expect that one influencer campaign or integrating into your video is going to change the product will move, like now it'll blow up the product, which it happens, but it's like, just like any campaign, you're not going to rely on one person to do it, you know, one billboard. It's like, it requires multiple things happening. Do you feel that pressure? They're like, you're an influencer. By you tweeting, I need X, Y, and Z. How do you deal with that at this stage? Do you ever feel that pressure?
Well, I don't put too much pressure on myself because...
Good for you. Yeah. Not as neurotic as me, obviously.
Yeah, I just, if I like the product, I'm going to talk about it. And that's pretty much it, because I'm not going to just put on someone that I don't like their product too much, because that's not right for the people watching, because they know they're supposed to trust me. That's kind of what YouTube's about. Like, they trust you, they build a connection with you, so I want to give them things that I truly like.
How do you strategize what you put on each platform? Like, what's in the day-to-day content strategy for each of you? From Instagram, Twitter, your YouTube?
I don't have a full strategy, but I also don't just like post something on Instagram and then share it everywhere. Each platform has like, you know, the right place to put things. On Instagram, it's definitely more like creative, artsy pictures that you want to post. Twitter, when I'm bored, I tweet a lot about just what I'm doing, what I'm feeling, and if I want to promote some stuff, then that's usually where I go. And then like Snapchat, that's just like super random. This is what I'm doing right now. It's fun.
Yeah, there's definitely like a time and a place for everything. Like a lot of like for promotions and stuff, I always kind of don't understand why people haven't figured out yet. Why are we posting links in our Instagram captions? I'm like, you literally can't click on these, and I guarantee you no one's like closing Instagram, like remembering like, okay, youtube.com / well the short, like YouTube with no E / XYZ, and I'm like, no one's like, why do you think that's helpful?
If you do link in bio, you probably wouldn't put the link in the bio, would you?
No, because then it's
that's
my bio. So it's like, so I'm like, okay, well, if we're going to promote something, let's do it over on Twitter, because also people are scrolling through Twitter so quickly that it's kind of, you see it and it's gone. So you need to post way more on Twitter because it's so quick and people are just so young and, you know, like ADD, just like, woo, like, I need more. Like, I'm the same way. I'm constantly refreshing Instagram, like, why aren't people posting? But then I realize I'm sitting there not posting as well. So I'm kind of like, ooh, maybe it's because people are being normal and living their lives, kind of thing. But I definitely post way more girly stuff on Instagram. I post, like, when you're bored, it's just like being funny and being a genuine version of yourself. And then YouTube, obviously, we take a ton of time on our YouTube channels.
What about Tumblr for fashion and beauty and everything?
Well, when I go on Tumblr, it's usually when I'm bored and I just want inspiration. I'll just scroll. Sometimes I'll reblog stuff, but I don't spend too much time like updating that. It's kind of just a place where I get inspiration from.
Yeah. Where do you see, I guess, this whole space going in like the next year? Where do you hope it goes for the community and for yourselves?
That's so hard to predict because the rate that it's moved at so far is insane. I think that we'll just be recognized more for what we do, which is great, and I think we'll be transitioning into traditional media a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that obviously I'd never really say that digital is taking over traditional or traditional. I think it's more of people coming together, and there's going to be a lot of networks of TV or movies, and it's just going to be available on YouTube. And it's kind of the collaboration of it all. It's not really necessarily like you have to pick digital or you have to watch TV or you have to do this. It's all going to move in a direction together and morph into one. So for us, I've noticed a lot of people kind of really upping their content. And I know for me, especially wanting to make higher quality content, because at the end of the day, if traditional media is really going to come into digital, who's going to really want to see me talk to my iPhone camera with no makeup on? Maybe I should get like a director or producer. No, I'm just kidding. So it's really just about kind of like staying on top of your YouTube channel and making that really creative content that's original, because original content is so important.
And now you're involved with the Verizon over-the-top program. What's it called?
It's Go 90.
Go 90. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so Verizon's basically one of the people that are about to take over the world with the whole digital thing. They're onto it. There's a bunch of networks involved in the Go 90 app, which I think is available automatically if you have Verizon. But if you don't have Verizon, you just download the app. And Awesomeness TV, which is a network that I'm really, really affiliated with. I do tons of shows and stuff with them. They have their own network. It's almost like, how I always describe it is like if you're looking at Apple TV and then you see all the little icons, it's like as if Awesomeness TV had an icon. And it's all original exclusive content. So it's like you can only see it if you have this app. And so I've been working since like March, like tons of different shows. I'm on this show, it's called Betch, and called Betch because it rhymes with sketch, and it's sketch comedy with betches because they're girls. It's female sketch comedy, and so it's just a female sketch comedy driven show. The girls are a lot funnier than I am, clearly, and yeah, I'm doing that. And then I have this other show. It's called Third Wheel. And it's like, if you've seen Cash Cab, but it's like Uber dating. So I drive around in an SUV and pick people up and make them fall in love. So it's just tons of, I'm really just doing a lot for society right now. And it's just a ton of different shows on there that will be very fun to see.
So since it is Emmys weekend and like we're going into award season, can you give us you're in the fashion beauty world, but can you give us your go-to kind of fashion, I guess, award season, like a look at what we might see, the trends for the fall, also looks.
It's hard to predict with award seasons because people are going to do whatever they want and they're going to do things that you won't expect. So definitely, even if you try to say this is what we'll see, it's going to be the complete opposite. But what I've seen with makeup recently at award shows is they've been doing a really natural look. It's like really glowy and minimal, but what I'm hoping to see for fashion, I want to see more color, like pastels and things like that on the carpet. That could be cool.
Yeah, I said earlier, I think it's interesting how people are kind of realizing they don't have to just wear a smoky eye because they're going on red carpet. No, because you look great in a smoky eye, but I don't at all. I tried it last week and I didn't like it very much on me. But it's just interesting because people are realizing that their style can come from their comfort levels. So you see more women wearing pants on the red carpet. You see more women wearing kind of like flowy dresses. It's not like every single girl has to show up with like full glam, with their like hair in an updo, with a tight dress that's bedazzled just because it's a fancy occasion. There's so many ways to dress up for a fancy occasion without having to go like stereotypical, like full Hollywood glam. So it's interesting seeing just like, I love the natural makeup so much. It's just my favorite way to wear my makeup, and people are doing like really glamorous dresses but with such messy hair, and I love that so much. Or the pantsuits are amazing. So it's really interesting to see how the celebrities take clearly what they're comfortable in their personal style and translate that on the red carpet.
For some people who might, have their own blog or wanting to get more into YouTube or even Instagram, be, a voice in the beauty fashion world, what advice or tips do you have for people to break in now, be heard, get attention?
it's important to be yourself, and everyone's making the same kind of videos now. Everyone wants to be a part of this world. So being different, but being yourself is what is important. You don't want to do what everyone else is doing because it works for them. It's not always going to work for you. And being yourself is what is going to make people gravitate towards you. Like with my videos, I really just sit down and kind of talk to them. And that's how I have that connection with my viewers. And that's how you're going to make them loyal to you and just keep watching your videos no matter where you go with them. So that's definitely the most important thing, I think.
I think, yeah, along with that is to also be patient, because it's easy to kind of like look at us and be like, oh, look at them, they like blew up. But it's kind of like low-key, no one really paid attention to us for the past 5 years that we've been doing it, because no one really knew what YouTube was. And now that everyone's discovered it over the past like year, 2 years, it kind of seems like it happened overnight. And it's so much work, and it's like really hard work, and so you have to just be patient and not expect anything. Like I always tell people, yeah, I don't go to school, but it still takes me years to get to where I want to go, and I have to learn a different way. And so it's not just like, it is as easy as uploading a YouTube video, but it's still, there's so many things you have to overcome and get through. And so as long as you just literally never quit and keep being yourself, everything will fall into place. Like you're gonna hit the bumps and you're gonna get annoyed and confused. I remember saying I was gonna quit like so many times before I moved to Los Angeles. And it's just, it's really being consistent and letting yourself grow and kind of trying new things while always staying true to yourself and making the content for you.
How important are collaborations still this day and age?
I think they're really important because that kind of helps, you know, it helps keep your creativeness unique, and it kind of keeps it fresh. Like if I literally lock myself in a room and just film videos all the time, it's not as fun as filming with a friend, and it kind of helps you get that new content, fresh content, and kind of get you into the different demographics, because everyone has kind of a different audience. So like I'm sure that if me and Amanda were in the same room with a bunch of subscribers, they'd like know us, but then if we like collaborated, there'd probably be like 50-50 of like, oh wait, I don't know who that person is. So it kind of helps get your name out in the different niches of the internet.
Every time I collab with someone, I learn so much. So that's a great part of collabing too, because I'll be filming with them and like, oh, you use that lens? Like that's how you film it? Oh, how are you editing this? So I learn so much from people because they have different styles and how they do things, and like other than reaching their audience and then them being able to reach yours, you can learn from them and grow yourself.
I'm going to open you up to questions. All right, do we have a mic, or should we just do the screen thing? Screen thing?
Screen thing and repeat.
Oh, okay, screen thing and then I repeat, okay.
I'm
Hi.
pretty loud, I don't think I would need a mic. I have a question for Lauren or for both of you all. I heard you say your manager. So I want to know, I guess it's two questions. One, when did you see your creative hobby like turn into like a business? Like was it 5K, 10K? You're like, oh, I need to do something with myself. And also, do you think getting a manager could propel you, or I heard you say you moved to LA, you know?
So she asked, yeah, at what point did you see that turning point from it being a hobby to a career? Was there a video that, or like a moment you're like, wow, this is for real? And then also about getting a manager, how much has that helped?
I think there's been a few moments for me that have really kind of been like, oh wow, I really need to put all of my effort into this. I wouldn't say it's based on numbers, honestly. I think it's really based a lot on who you are as a person, because I had 2 subscribers and was already driving myself to the city of Chicago from high school in the suburbs, and working with Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's and Saks Fifth Avenue, and trying to figure out how I can host an event at their store with the trends and teach girls how to do their makeup, and going to events in the city and meeting PR people. And so for me, I've always just had that like entrepreneur gene in me. So I kind of always knew it was some form of business, but it wasn't until I did start gaining the numbers, and I signed with a network, because there's YouTube networks, MCNs, and I had a manager just for like branded content and stuff, just kind of like help you navigate.
Negotiate also. It's tough to negotiate for yourself.
It's odd to like email like brands and stuff yourself when you're like in high school. But I realized when I did do a year of college, and I got the opportunity to go on tour with Yahoo and be one of their correspondents. And I was interviewing like Macklemore, Fall Out Boy, and all this stuff. And that was the moment where I was like, oh, I was like, first of all, this is awesome. Why am I paying money to a college to teach me how to do this? I'm killing it on my own. And then I was also just kind of like, I was like, I don't want to spend the money on college if I really give 100% to this, I know I can do it, because I'm just the type of person that's like, you think I can, I'm gonna do it. So that was the moment where I was like, I think I could really turn this into something, just because I had dedicated so much of my time to it and really growing it. And that's when I decided to, like for instance, like a lot of people move to LA. I didn't just move to LA. I actually worked at Awesomeness TV as an intern, and I was an employee there.
I didn't know this, Laura.
Yeah. So I have kind of always had the business mindset, while also have that really like creative part of my brain that never made me really good at math. So luckily I'm like a little bit of both to be able to like facilitate my life. But yeah, so it's like those moments where you kind of had to pick and choose are really the determining ones, and you just have to go with your gut and do what's going to make you happy. Because I knew being in college wasn't going to make me the happiest clam in the clam jar. Or do clams come in a jar? I don't know.
She said this clams come in a
Do you
jar.
have anything to add to that?
Yeah, when I knew that it was really a big deal and what I was going to do as a career, even though, I mean, I was so young, I don't need one yet. But when I was first offered a branded thing where they were going to pay me, I was like, whoa, what is this? And then that's when I decided to meet with a manager and sign with the network, and they really, they just like, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have, if you meet with them and they believe in the content that you're posting, then they will show you the way, they'll hook you up, and they'll really help your channel grow.
Great. Yes.
So do you guys think it's imperative to join a network as YouTube stars?
The big question, is it imperative to join a network? What are your thoughts on the MCN model?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what the other option is.
I think we'll just stay independent, but I think that's when maybe they've already joined and they maybe see it doesn't work.
Yeah. So I think like at the beginning, it's so important to join a network because that's how I made all my friends in LA, and like that was kind of my like blanket, like comfort blanket when I moved to Los Angeles, was having my network and knowing that there were other girls in the network, being able to collaborate with them just socially and like kind of like Amanda said, like get together and like talk about, like what videos do you want to produce, like what's going on in the YouTube space, and just kind of like have that community. It's really nice. And then also to get started, they have people there that, like Amanda said, I mean, I've always been someone who has really been like having to prove myself, and you have those relationships in real life and those people believe in you, and then they can help you as opposed to, just always kind of like being like, I'm gonna do it myself. Like it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah, it's a whole business now, so it would be awesome to be a part of a network for people to have your back and help you with brands and stuff, because you could get taken advantage of. So it's important to be a part of something like that, to learn from them and to grow your channel and to have someone help you out.
I also think it's such a niche when you're in beauty or fashion. Like, there's Style Hall, there's places that they're getting constantly hit up by brands in that specific vertical, Whereas if you're just like, I'm a comedian, like it's a bit general. Like there's no one that's like specializes in maybe comedy, to really blow you up. I don't know, I just find like that, the more specific you can get about what you want to do, and you can find a network that has talent like that as well, that you can collaborate with, it's really helpful. Yes?
So you guys use a lot of platforms, as you said, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, whatever, YouTube, obviously. When a new platform comes out, kind of like when Twitter came out, and Ashton Kutcher was the first one on it, first 2 million, and that really helped kind of his career in social media. How willing are you guys to adopt new platforms? Is that a risk for you? Do you first learn something new, or have to fit with exactly what you're playing? But I'm sure there's going to be new platforms in the future. What's your willingness to kind of jump on board with something new?
Yeah, things are popping up everywhere, and they have gotten huge. Like Vine was a new thing that blew up, and people have incredible careers from it. So I'm definitely open to trying new things. I'll download the app, and then after a while, I'll like realize this isn't really like going anywhere. But there's some that I'm totally open to that, because like even like Snapchat just kind of blew up more recently. So everything's moving so fast, and I think it's actually really important to check all that out and be aware of everything.
Yeah, it's almost like with brands and stuff, it's kind of like we say yes to things or download things that are organic and that we enjoy. So if an app is really popular, I like download it, but if I don't like it, I'm not going to use it. I'm not just going to use it to build a following on something. Like, there's so many platforms. Like, I don't need followers on every single one. It's kind of like finding the ones that you do really well at and like growing and building that audience and finding the ones that you can connect with people. Like Vine was something that I just never really, I liked it and I liked making videos, but it was almost just like, it was almost like Snapchat for me. It was kind of me with no makeup on, chilling in bed, like saying whatever. And I'll open the app every once in a while now, but I honestly barely ever go on it anymore. So I'm not gonna like go out of my way to like be like, oh, Lauren, why aren't you vining? Like, that's so cool right now, like get on that. Because I'd rather kind of do what I'm good at, which is like Instagram or something. So it's really a personal thing, but unless like something's very crucial to my career, I don't think I would go out of my way to